Yes, it's going to start. As long as there's no issues. For me, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I know the colors are there. Sorry, I got to get my coffee out of the way. We have a WololoKingdoms 4v4, and this is a crazy map as well. Chat is spamming here on the live stream. I've never casted this before, but I'm very excited. First of all, what is this? This tournament is a 4v4 on Voobly with the WololoKingdoms mod, which, long story short, has the Voobly performances, but includes the expansion Civilizations. We have Nadia's Boys, a very popular AOC clan, versus Nervo, which is just formed for this tournament, and it is comprised of Tato, who's here in the red, Nikov, who is here in the blue, Dogal, who is across on the yellow, and then Miguel, who is in the gray. Now, this map is Enemy Archipelago. It was voted on AOC Zone. You can find all the info on the AOC Zone front page for this tournament. And as you can see, each player is by their lonesome, and it is a 1v1. So Tato is playing as the Slavs. He is versus Mentalist, playing as the Huns on this island. The other island is Nikov as the Burmese, playing in the green versus the Ethiopians in Pike. In the purple, we have Spaden for the Nabs. He's playing as the Incas versus Miguel, who's playing as the Mayans for Nervo. And in the yellow, we have Dogal for Nervo, playing as the Malians. He is versus Nick for Nabs, playing as the Burmese. Now, what's really cool is they had to choose, as a team, they had to choose one AOC Civ, one Forgotten Civ, one African Kingdom Civ, and one Rise of the Raja Civ. And then next game, they cannot reuse that civilization. So, not only the map, not only the high-level gameplay we always see, but the civs are going to be different as well. So, a quick thing I notice is, you know, what these players get on the map, and you can see the boar being brought in now for Tato. I'm not too familiar with the settings and the default resources, but it looks like one boar, many goats here, and then we have the zebras, which are basically the deer. Obviously, plenty of water as well, and so there's a dock now from Tato, and so, you know, as always, you need to prioritize getting fishing ships, but also getting up to the next stage. Are they going to attack on water to kill the opponent's fishing ships, or are they going to attack on land? And all these decisions are very complicated decisions, considering these top players rarely play these settings if they have at all. So Couture in the chat mentioning towers. Towers would be a good strategy. We're watching this live, so there may have been some pausing here. Towers would be a good strategy, but, you know, there's potential for wall here. If Nick wants to wall, and he could maybe buy himself a little bit of time. Nick close to killing Dogal's scout, but Dogal's going to keep this scout alive. I'm just very excited to see how this unfolds here. Are we going to get to the point in the game where players will be transporting each other? I mean, who knows? But it's probably going to be multiple 1v1v1s, which is exciting because we know that Nervo has the better 1v1 skill, I think. Tato, Nikov, and Dogal all higher rated in 1v1. Nabs are known specifically for their team games. And I think with 1 minute left on the bets have reflected that people have more faith in these 1v1 players than they do in Nadia's Boys team. So thank you for waiting here, guys. I'm sorry you had to wait. I'm so excited to be able to cast this game now. Feudal Age time for Nick is very early. He's gone up on 19 villagers. He has 4 fishing ships. And he's up against Dogal, who's even earlier than him. And Dogal is coming forward. So Dogal used his scout earlier to see what his opponent has. He can see the back stone. He can see the back golds. He also sees these stones. There's plenty of stones here. But most likely, as his stone count is climbing, he will be going for a tower rush. And will Nick see it? That is the question. Now, this really makes it difficult for a caster, I'll tell you what, because there's 4 different 1v1s going on. But I'm up to the challenge. Yes, look at that. Nick has spotted this. He sees the 3 villagers, so he should be able to deny this area being towered. But a villager running around, a T90 Babe might be able to sneak a tower back behind the wood line. Nick is forced to chase. Also, there's 3 villagers down here for Dogal. Now, elsewhere, as everyone else is on the way up, there's a tower now from Dogal. Just going to be a quick counter from Nick. We have Mentalist going out to gold. He really likes his man-at-arms build, but he might just be going for Grush. we'll keep an eye on this. Tato up a bit later as well. I think they scouted the distance between one another and decided to go up later with a stronger economy. Over on this side, we have what looks to be a forward from Spaden. As Incas, you know, the villagers do benefit from the defense and attack upgrades of the blacksmith. We have Spaden with militia, his eagle warriors, and his villagers. He's going to deny this archery range, believe it or not, even though he's in feudal later than Miguel. Miguel wants to go with the archery range, but maybe overextending a bit here. Meanwhile, back here, the tower rush continues. I do think Nick has this locked down for now. With the exception of this villager, I think he has it locked down because he'll have counter towers. He will need more stone, though. Looks like he deleted this tower and choosing to go for this one, which was actually quite a smart move. And we have the push from Pike going to beginning, and he's going for a stable, so he'll be going for scouts. Meanwhile, in the feudal age already is Nikov, who I assume is making ships, as I don't see too much from him as far as military goes. So the tower rush continues here, and wow, Nick finding that villager from Dogao. Dogao has done nothing thus far. Meanwhile, the push continues back at Miguel's base. He's been forced to build 2 new archery ranges at home. He was up against man-at-arms. You can see dead bodies here. And actually, the spears will delay the man-at-arm. The gold should be safe for Miguel, and he'll have 2 ranges. So as long as his wood line's safe, I think he will be okay here. Spaden, probably not fully investing into attack, can go for an archery range back at home. Now, look at this. We have the market blacksmith from Tato, and he's being forwarded by Mentalist. If he full walls this side, and it looks like he will, then he's probably going for either water and then fast castle or straight fast castle, and he's very close now to be going up to castle age. But Mentalist, because he's going more aggressive, has found some of Tato's fish, and Tato's running them away. He's going to be needing the gold to click up to castle, but we'll keep an eye on that. As we go back here, it does look like Nick's fine. And you look at Miguel's base, and villagers are running around from Spaden. So it's interesting. Teams obviously probably had a strategy for this. There's a lot of money on the line. A very aggressive plays from multiple players here. I'm actually quite surprised by Tato and Pike, who have done a fast castle strategy. And it's a risky strategy, but I think it's going to pay off for both these players. Pike is just protecting his fish, and he's gone stable, so he'd go for what looks to be knights. It's so hard to make snap judgment calls as a caster here, but 2 players fast castling, and meanwhile, Nikov, he could struggle. He's actually going skirmishers here. He doesn't have good scouting against Northern Pike, so if Northern Pike can make a couple knights, that'd be devastating to Nikov. At the same time, the same could be said about Mentalist on this side for Nabs, if Tato's able to go with knights. Tato hasn't made a military building on land yet, but he is going to quick wall this with gates, and I think we'll be okay for now. I needs another house, and Mentalist is going to have to be very aggressive. And the push maybe continuing here from Dogao. He wants to maybe build some forward military buildings, but the archers from Nick has found him. I think one villager will go down, this one will be fine. I'm not sure what Dogao's doing. I think Nick was laming, and Nick is sending the archers forward to Dogao. Dogao is defensive with towers, so he should be fine. Meanwhile, I need to look over here again as Miguel is facing up against Spaden. Forward archery range from Spaden and a tower now. But I still feel comfortable. I would feel comfortable in Miguel's shoes, as he has a defensive tower and he has archers back at home. But Spaden's not letting up either. So fire ships are incredibly important. Nikov and Northern Pike fighting over the water so they can get their fish boom going. We have 1 stable, which means we're going to see this knights push out to Nikov's base now. And Nikov's just now finding out he's not on his way to Castle H. He's now house walling his stone, and the rest of his resources are going to be at risk. He's probably going to need to add more feudal spears here, as just this one knight can run underneath the TC and can do a lot of damage to all these exposed villagers. So Nick doing a great job for Nabs. Meanwhile, Tato's still stonewalling. He's gone for Mangonel, so he's going a little bit more defensive. And Tato, probably out of all the players, has practiced this map and practiced with these civs. So it looks like he's defending with Mangonel for now, and he's going to work on securing the fish with his fire ships and damage his opponent's economy even further. Here are the knights from Nick, and this is only going, or sorry, Pike, and this is only going to get worse for Nikov, who hasn't clicked up yet, forcing down a marker, which is never good at this level. And looks like this villager being chased, so Dogal unable to really do much with that villager, and now Nick is running behind Dogal's lumber camp, and there's some weak villagers here, and this is not going to be good for Dogal because he has his stones and his gold towered, but this section of the wood can be harassed by archers, so fair play from Nick to be doing that. So meanwhile, oh man, we had a huge cleanup from Miguel. He's cleaned up Spaden's forward. He's going to wall up the archery ranges. You could see all the dead bodies. Remember, there were villagers there for Spaden as well. And now Spaden's going to retreat with whatever he has left. The archers can have access to the gold and the stone. What a cool map here. I think Spaden's going to want a tower just to play it safe, as Miguel's now pushing in with his archers. I'm very worried about Nikov. He's made enough spears to defend for now. He's on his way up. But it just looks like Pike has such a head start here. The score is just going back and forth. There's so many losses for different players. And meanwhile, oh, we're going to see a transport from Mentalist. Mentalist is going to try and transport around the damaged Tato. Tato is just 2 TCs booming. But a transport around to this gold could be devastating. I like the ballsy move from Mentalist. He built the forward military buildings. I don't think he's going to be able to hold them for very long, but he can transport and at least harass and pull Tato back. Actually, Mentalist is Castle Age, so I think he could hold this. Tato's going to go for a forward town center, but with a few knights, he might be able to pick off these Mangonels. There are the archers now, and these villagers could go down for Tato. Tato not expecting this. This is such a Tato move from Mentalist. A Mentalist getting Tatoed, and he is going to have to run away from his gold. Alright, so Nick was on Dogal a moment ago. It seems like Nick has the lead there, but both players are in Feudal Age. And then Miguel's still fine. He was attacking Spaden, but Spaden seems to have either cleaned up... Yeah, he looks like he cleaned up Miguel's army. And he's defensive towers. Trireme Tato might sling. It is, of course, possible. I will go to Tato's point of view. I don't think he will. I don't think he has a lot to sling. I think he's gone with a bit of a greedy boom, and I don't like that style. I feel like you need to have some more military than what Tato does. Very defensive play from him. But look at this. Will the Mangonel go down? He's going to lose the Mangonel. Great play. It's what I'm talking about with those knights. The Mentalist. And he did enough to push Tato off that gold earlier. It's forced Tato here, and Tato is a pretty bad eco balance at the moment. So, Castle Age upgrade on the way for Nick and Dogal on this island. Nikov's still up against some knights from Pike, of course, and Pike seems to have a good head start in this game with Safe Fish, 46 villagers, and it seems like Nabs has a slight lead, but not major. Is the Mangonel going to go down? Well, it looks like most likely Nikov will get a kill on this Mangonel. And Pike is on 2 TCs, but this is a healthier economy. 2 TCs, multiple farms booming. Or, multiple farms up, rather. Mentalist has, still in my opinion, has a decent edge. But there's the attack round from Tato to kill the Mangonel from Mentalist. Subs, I'll give you all shoutouts after each game because this is probably one of the most difficult casts I've ever had. This is worse than a 4v4 team game, actually. Like a standard 4v4 team game. Alright, we have the stone gate from Nick. And he's full stone walled here as well. That's not the first Nabs player to do that. And that's pretty good for him, because if he loses some fights, he'll still be fine. He doesn't want to lose fights, though, because he has the forward archer range. I don't know what's going on between Spaden and Miguel, but Spaden... Hold on a second. Yeah, Spaden... I must have missed something here. I thought he was on his way to Castle Age. He doesn't have a market, so he didn't sling anything, because now I'm paranoid about that. Yeah, Spaden is kind of behind versus Miguel. Miguel is Mayans. Miguel's going to go Siege Workshop, and he could pile on the pressure. What do you even say about this game? We have another transport now from Mentals with just 1 knight. He's still on the front. Tato needs a good Mangonel shot because his TC's at risk. And will he get it? Mentalist going to need to pay attention here. He's going to hope for 1 for 1. Hopefully, no, he's lost one. Tato could get the next one. I think Mentalist has now realized And, oh man, it's gone down to 2 HP. And I think Tato will lose his now. At the very least, can he get Mentalist? Yes, he will. The Monk was converted there by Tato. He could try and run out again, but we'll probably see another conversion. So he'll stay away. And in comes the push at Spaden's base. And this is huge because Spaden's still in the Feudal Age, and he needs to stone wall. Guys, you're all adding me in the chat, asking me to do a lot of different things, but I have no time to address the chat on the other monitor. As Spaden just needs to turtle up and try not to receive any damage. Tato almost losing another Mangonel here, but instead he ends up getting Mentalist, and Mentalist push has stalled. So did Spaden's push, and it looks like Nervo is pushing back to win this game. We have a castle on the front from Nikov, and I haven't looked at these guys for a while. Nikov has a few monks here, and he also has the Arambai, so I think the Ethiopian's window to do damage has kind of disappeared, as once the Arambai are massed, the Burmese are quite a strong civilization. So let's look at each island individually. I think Tato and Mentalist are pretty even. I think I'd give Tato a slight edge because of his Mangonel engagements. Then here, I think it's pretty neck and neck between Pike and Nikov. I think it's with economy, you have to give Pike a slight edge. But Nikov actually has a bit more villagers at the moment. Over here, it looks like Nervo is ahead for sure with Miguel. And then Nick and Dogal, who we haven't talked about in a while, they're having an engagement over here. This also seems pretty close. They're both bottom scores for their team. Transports have been seen multiple times now, and this is probably because of a transport. However, both players with +2, I think Dogal will go for Vils and then run around with his crossbows because he'll lose his army. And this push is so important. I mean, look at all the pieces of wood, all the rubble from the monks in siege, from Mentalist. I think that Mentalist has probably chosen a strategy that Tato was set to defend from, and there's a one for one and some monk conversions. This is actually not going very well for Tato. He's lost a monk, he's lost a few knights, and now he has no defensive Mangonel, and he could lose another monk here to the knight. Yes, he has. Will he lose the next one? What? More conversions from Mentalist. He can kill the monks and maybe kill this TC now. Very awkward push, honestly, as Huns to go with the siege and monks, but maybe it caught Tato off guard. This battering ram won't do anything. Pike is on his way to Imp versus this push from Nikov. He's the first one to click up to Imp. He has his own castle, which will stall this push from Nikov. And there's the castle age click finally for Miguel. So this is interesting as Miguel has a huge lead. Whoa, was that friendly fire? I'm pretty sure there's some T90 wrecked, Miguel friendly firing himself, but Miguel has a huge lead on Spaden, who looks like he's going to go Eagles. I think now there's a significant lead for Mentalist at Tato's base. Nikov and Pike are going to have a 1v1 in Imp. And then on this island, again, it seems pretty close as far as economy and military goes between Nick and Dogal. Yeah, this map is really, really cool. I have to agree with you there. A forward castle from Miguel, which is going to make it even more difficult for Spaden. It's already going to be an uphill battle for him. He's obviously planning to go Eagle Warriors to just kill the Mangonels and maybe any archers, but he's not going to have any space to breathe. He is on stone himself, so he can go for a defensive castle. But certainly a mess for him. Now, what is Pike doing? Is Pike going to be massing the halberdiers? Yes, Ethiopians get the free halberdier upgrade. So he's going to add halberdiers. And I may just go halberdiers siege, honestly. And so far, I've only seen Arambai from Nikov as far as Imperial Age techs go. I don't think he'll invest heavily into monks, but we'll see if he can get another castle up soon so he can continue with Arambai. The push continues at Tato's base, and look at all the monasteries from Tato. He's been trying to go with more monks to defend from this, but he might finally lose his TC on the front. He's losing a lot of villagers as well. Now his team has the score lead, and that's probably because Miguel is killing Spaden. But Tato is pretty much useless for his team at the moment, and Mentalist has a huge foothold with 5 Mangonels plenty of knights, plenty of monks. I don't know what Tato can really do here. This is his economy. He is definitely struggling versus the Canadian being mentalist. The Canadian. Everyone's favorite Canadian. My favorite Canadian. There's the castle for Spaden. He needs to get this up, but there's another castle for Miguel. Spaden just basically needs to not die in this game because his teammates are doing a decent job. The push will begin shortly for Pike. He's going to go with Trebs, and he's still massing the Halberdiers. And there are the Arambai for Nikov. And they can shred the Halberdiers, and once these guys are massed, they already have 18 base attack. They can do quite a bit of damage. Nikov's going with some monk upgrades, so he can convert any siege that Pike might make. This game is just madness. Now, Tato, again, kind of in that situation where he can hold. He's gotten one Mangonel. He's going to get another Mangonel, so 2 for 0 there. And he might get conversions. If he gets a conversion, he can go for the next Mangonel, actually. That could be huge for Tato. Will this knight stay alive? It will not. But still, monks change so much. Mentalist building a castle. And here's the push from Pike. Pike wants a quick push. He wants to kill these castles as fast as possible. But it doesn't look like he has enough. Now down here we have a forward castle from Dogao. This will make it his second castle. Now we do have Nick with his own Arambai. He's going to be up against Burmese. Or sorry, Malians. He is Burmese. The Civ matchup is just awesome all around as well, I have to say. And the skill level is on point. Some of the best players in the world. Yeah, Pike is massing Pike. T90 Dave. I mean, not T90 Dave. T90 Dad. What did I miss here? Holy cow. Look at how many villagers Spaden has, guys. He's dead. He is dead. Look at that. Look at all the dead bodies. I need some tears, chat. I need some tears. He's lost almost everything trying to get this castle up in defense. And it went horribly wrong for him, but he's going to commit again. And there's the Mangonel and the castle, of course, from Miguel. He's gotten it up, man. Oh, jeez. I feel bad for the guy. I really do. It's not good for Nabs now, especially with the Arambai from Mr. Nikov. Now, Arambai are not the best versus Rams. They're not like Mangadai. But still, there's so many of them here, and the conversions will come in against Halbs as well. You have to think this is a favorable engagement for the Arambai. And meanwhile, Dogao, and, well, I guess Dogao's not really fighting much here. He is versus some Mangonels from Nick and some Arambai. And he's going to try and micro them down, which is a very ballsy move, as he's just hit the Imperial Age, does not have any imp upgrades. And Nab still has... Nick still has yet to click up. Honestly, looks like this game is heavily in favor of Team Nervo now. As Tato has held on a bit, he's not dead. Spaden is dead. And then probably a slight edge for Dogao against Nick. And Nick still has not clicked up to Imp. So these 1v1s have slowly inched their way towards one victor. This is probably the closest 1v1 matchup we have at the moment between Pike and between Nikov. So I guess the question is, on a map like this, what do you even do next? I mean, what can Spaden do? Can he transport? Well, not really. He's going to transport to Dogao if he transports. So he basically has to stay alive and hope his team ends up winning elsewhere. I don't know if he can contribute that many resources with the amount of villagers he has. So it's kind of a... You're just dead if you're in his position. Maybe he has other ideas. But certainly, Nick needs the Imperial Age upgrade, and I don't know if he's close to it. Yeah, he's not that close. He's going for castles to defend, but there are trebs there for Dogao, and Dogao's going to start taking down everything he can. Here are the trebs for Nikov, who's in a pretty firm position as he's attacking the castle from Pike, and he will take that castle down. Also, with many villagers here just repairing. And the monks getting conversions now. The monks are going to get conversions, and they will also heal his Arambai. And he has so many of them now. The Rams really don't matter. And just needs to reposition against the Pikes. And Northern Pike was hoping to get a big push with Siege early on with the Halberdiers and overwhelm Nikov. But Nikov was prepared for it. Losing one Treb is not a huge deal. He's going to clean up all the Halberdiers and have plenty of his army left. He could run in to kill Pike's Trebs now because it's not protected by the castle. This is looking really bad for Nabs. Can they Wait for it. Nab a victory here. It doesn't look like it. But then again, Mentalist is pushing in versus Tato, and this happened oh so fast. Tato not in the Imperial Age. Tato desperately trying to hold on and build a castle. I did not see this going so badly for Tato on this side. The question is, who is more dead, I suppose? Multiple trebs from Miguel who's going to take out everything that Spaden has. As Spaden could be defeated, so could Tato at this rate. But so could Pike. Oh man, what a cool game. Elite Arambai now for Nikov is going to make these units that much more deadly. I don't see Pike being able to do anything. They're probably talking on TeamSpeak like, hey, can you send me resources? Hey, how are you doing on your side? And they're doing the math. They're like, hold on a second. Spaden's dead. It looks like Pike is dead. And then probably Nick is dead, yeah. And so we're outgunned here. Well done, Mentalist, but we didn't do our jobs, basically. And that, my friends, is game one. And I want to see some woos in the chat if you thought that was awesome, because that was freaking awesome in my eyes. 4 different 1v1s, different strategies, different civs. Great, great map. I'd like to see that again. I really would. That was impressive stuff. Just quickly, before we get into the next game, Mentalist did a great job versus Tato the entire time, because Tato went with a greedy play, remember? And Mentalist continued the aggression with the transports and everything. That was cool. Then on this side, Dogao also did an exceptional job versus Nick. I felt like Nick could have been in a better position, but it was probably his economy. Spaden, I'm not really sure where it went wrong, to be honest, because things looked really even, and then all of a sudden Miguel was in Castle Age, and Spaden was still stuck in Feudal. The whole castle situation just came from his lack of economy. Then I think the closest one all around was Pike and Nikov. Nikov never really lost anything versus Pike, did each of those nights. Nikov did an exceptional job, and really was flawless play from him, as, you know, he was able to build out and do exactly what he wanted all game. Alright, so we are going to close the game. Actually, we'll quickly look at the achievements. YouTube, we're live streaming this right now for 800 people, and they all want to see this as well. But on YouTube, you can pause it. Real quick, before we get into the next game, who was complaining about the scoreboard, and what do you want me